All right, so we're back and ready to dive into another fascinating section of the Bible,
Yeah,
Exodus chapter 5.
absolutely.
And, you know, this chapter really gets into it right away.
Yeah, it does.
It sets up.
It doesn't pull any punches.
No, it does not.
It throws you right into this conflict between Moses and Pharaoh.
Right, and like the audacity of Moses and Aaron
Oh, yeah.
to go before Pharaoh and
Well,
say,
and not just go before Pharaoh, but to
Right.
deliver this message.
Yeah, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, let my people go that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
Right. And the thing is, like, if you're Pharaoh,
Yeah.
you're like, who is this Lord? Like, I've never heard of this guy.
Right, I'm the God King here.
Exactly. I'm in charge.
What are you talking
But
about?
this idea that there's this other higher power
Yeah.
that he's supposed to answer to,
Right.
that's a direct challenge to his authority.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me, he doesn't just like, say, get out of here, He's like, okay, I'm going to make their lives even harder.
Right. Well, it's almost like he's trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you think your God's so powerful? Watch this.
Watch this.
And he actually makes the Israelites' lives
Yeah.
way worse.
Yeah. Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore let them go and gather straw for themselves.
Imagine that, right? You're already a slave.
Right. You're already doing back-breaking labor.
Yeah, you're making bricks.
And now you got to go find the straw, too.
Yeah, and not only that, but
Yeah.
think about, like, the
Yeah.
logistics of it.
Right.
Like, where are you going to find all this straw?
How much stubble are you going to have to gather to equal the amount of straw you need to make the same number of bricks?
Right. It just doesn't.
It's impossible.
It doesn't make sense.
And I love how the Israelite officers, they go to Pharaoh
Yeah.
and they're like, there is no straw given unto thy servants. And they say to us, make brick, and behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people.
Right. They're basically like,
Yeah.
your guys are beating us up
Yeah. It's your fault.
for not making bricks when you're not giving us what we need to make them.
Yeah, but Pharaoh's not having it.
Nope.
He's completely, doubled down on this.
He's like, you guys are just lazy.
You're just lazy. You don't want to work.
Get back to work.
And so the Israelites, they're like, well, Moses, what have you done for us?
Yeah, they're like, hey, wait a minute. We were better off before you came along.
Before you showed up.
Yeah.
We at least had straw. Now we don't even have straw.
And we're getting beaten worse.
And we're getting beaten worse. And I can't imagine how that must felt for Moses.
Right, to be like, I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead you to freedom.
Yeah.
And you're blaming me for this.
And this is what I get.
Yeah.
This is the thanks I get.
So Moses turns to God in prayer, and it's a pretty raw prayer.
Oh, yeah. It's a very honest prayer.
He's very honest. He's like, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated this people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people, neither hast thou delivered thy people at all.
And I think what's so powerful about that prayer
Yeah.
is that he's not afraid to be honest with God.
Right.
He's laying it all out there.
Yeah.
The doubt, the frustration.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to these people?
And I think a lot of us can relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
We've all had those moments where
Yeah.
we question God, we question our faith.
Or we're like, are you even there?
Exactly.
Are you listening?
And I think there's something very human about that.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect in our faith.
Right.
It's about that struggle.
Yeah.
It's about that wrestling.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, some people might say, well, if God is so powerful, why doesn't he just free the Israelites?
Right.
Why is he messing around with Pharaoh?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
And I think what it shows us is that God is working through people.
Yeah.
He's working through Moses. He's even working through Pharaoh in a way
Right.
to bring about his plan.
So it's not just like this, I'm God and I'm going to do this. It's
Oh.
like he's involving people in the process.
It's like a partnership in a way,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't seem like Pharaoh's partnering willingly.
Right. But he is a part of it.
Yeah.
Whether he likes it or not.
Exactly. And that's what I think makes the story so compelling.
Yeah.
It's this interplay between the divine will
Yeah.
and human choices.
And, it's not just about the big players.
Right.
It's about the Israelites, too.
Yeah.
They have a role to play in this.
They're not just passive recipients of God's grace.
Right. They have to have faith. They have to trust,
Exactly.
even when it's hard.
Yeah.
And, we're going to leave it there for now.
Okay.
But we've got this incredible setup.
Yeah.
We've got the power dynamics. We've
Yeah.
got the theological clash. Right.
And we've got this very human struggle of doubt and faith.
And it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a moment to pick up the story and see how it all unfolds.
I can't wait.
All right, we'll be right back.
You know, it's like we're on the edge of our seats here.
Yeah.
What's Pharaoh going to do next?
I mean, you would think making the Israelites' lives harder would make them,
Yeah, you'd think it would break them.
break their spirit.
Yeah.
Make them submit. But it seems like it's having the opposite effect.
It's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
Just fueling their desire for freedom.
Right. And it's interesting how Pharaoh just completely misses this.
Well, he's so blinded by his own power.
Yeah.
He can't see that his actions are actually having the opposite effect.
It's like he's digging his own grave in a way.
Yeah, he's creating the very conditions that will lead to his own downfall.
And it's not just about the Israelites' physical freedom.
Right.
It's about their spiritual freedom, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their faith is being tested and strengthened at the same time.
Yeah, they're clinging to this belief that God will deliver them.
Yeah, even when it seems impossible.
Even when they're questioning Moses,
Right.
they're still holding on to that belief.
It's like this deep-seated hope
Yeah.
that's sustaining them.
And it makes me wonder, about free will.
Yeah.
Like, if God is so powerful,
Uh-huh.
why doesn't he just snap his fingers and free them?
Right. Why go through all this drama?
Right. Why all this suffering?
It's a good question. And I think
Yeah.
what it suggests is that God is working through human agency.
So he's not just like a puppet master.
Right.
He's giving people the choice.
Yeah. He's inviting them to participate in the process.
And that includes Pharaoh.
Even Pharaoh, yeah.
Even though Pharaoh's not exactly cooperating,
Right.
he's still part of the plan.
He's a key player, whether he realizes it or not.
Yeah, it's like this cosmic chess game.
Yeah.
And God is using all the pieces.
To achieve his ultimate goal.
And I think that's something we can all relate to.
Absolutely.
We all have these challenges in our lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like we're up against impossible odds.
Right.
But this story reminds us that even in those moments, there's a bigger plan at work.
And that we have a role to play.
Yeah, even when we don't understand it.
Even when it's hard.
Right, even when we're doubting and questioning.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of this story.
Yeah.
It's not a simplistic fairy tale.
Right.
It's a messy, complicated,
Yeah.
but ultimately hopeful journey.
And it's a journey that we're all on, in a way.
Yeah. We're all trying to find our way to freedom.
To liberation.
Yeah. To that promised land.
And it's not always easy.
No, it's not.
But it's worth it.
It is.
So we'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive into Exodus chapter 5. All right, so we've got the standoff.
Yeah.
Pharaoh's not backing down.
Nope.
The Israelites are suffering.
Right.
Moses is like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. It's a real turning point in the story.
So where do we go from here? What happens next?
Oh, this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because you see all this tension, all this conflict.
Yeah.
It's not for nothing.
Oh.
It's actually setting the stage for God to reveal his power.
Okay, so it's like the calm before the storm.
Exactly. And trust me, this is going to be a big storm.
I mean, you've got Pharaoh on one side.
Right. The God King of Egypt.
All this earthly power.
Yeah.
And then you've got God.
The Almighty.
Yeah, whose power is like, infinite.
Beyond human comprehension.
So something's got to give.
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to blink.
So you're saying Exodus chapter 5 is like the foundation?
Yeah, it's the setup.
Okay.
It's where we get to know the players.
Yeah.
We see their motivations. We understand the conflict.
The stakes are high.
Oh, yeah. The stakes are incredibly high.
So this is more than just a story about, one guy being stubborn or
Right.
a group of people wanting to be free.
It's about something much bigger.
Yeah.
It's about the nature of power,
Okay.
the struggle for freedom.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I think it's about faith.
Faith in something beyond ourselves.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Exodus chapter 5,
Yeah.
what's like the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this?
I think the biggest takeaway is that even when things seem impossible,
Yeah.
even when you're facing incredible obstacles,
When you're doubting, when you're questioning.
yeah, in those moments,
Yeah.
never underestimate the power of faith and perseverance.
So just like the Israelites never gave up hope,
Right.
just like Moses kept trusting in God.
Even when he was frustrated,
Yeah.
even when he was angry,
We can do the same.
we can find that strength within ourselves
To keep going.
to keep believing.
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
Well, thanks for diving deep with us today.
Yeah, this was great.
We hope you've enjoyed this exploration of Exodus chapter 5.
Absolutely.
And as always, we encourage you to keep exploring,
Yeah.
keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.
And we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
All right, take care.